and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and for today's video I am going to be bringing you my TBR Cart Tour. I know you can't really see it right now. I'm going to be including like some montage-y video to go with it so you can see a better like close-up and everything. Also, this is a very weird angle for me to be filming at, so let me know if you like it. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think I like it. I think it might be cool, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm super excited. I just got one of the TBR cards. I've been wanting one since I've seen them like circulating booktube. I think that they are so cool. The one that I got is the one that I've seen like everyone get, and it's the one from Michael's. It's like the 3-tier recollections cart. It's like $60 I think, but I got it with a coupon that is half off, so it was only like $30, which I felt like was a much better deal for this. So grab it while you can with that coupon if you can, if you're interested at all. I will try and link it down below if I remember, if you are interested. But yeah, let's get started with my TBR cart tour. I'm so excited, obviously. So I think the way that I'm gonna do this is walk you through exactly how I set it up and then just go through all of the books that I have on it. That's how I've seen a lot of different people do these videos, so I think that's how I'm gonna go about it also. So the way that I set mine up personally was I did the first tier as my monthly TBR. So the TBR that you guys saw, I put on here as best as I could and remember, and you know, just like, it may not be exactly what you saw, but that's what I started with. And then behind all of these books right here, I have my 2 reading journals. So I have my reading bullet journal as well as my regular reading journal where I just like keep tracks, and this is like just my booktube journal, I guess, because I plan videos and stuff out in this one too. So I have my 2 reading journals behind here. Then on the second tier, the middle one, I have books that I think I might be in the mood to read, but I didn't necessarily put them on my TBR. So there aren't that many. You'll see it in the clip, there aren't that many, but I just have a few of them, and then some manga laying sideways. And then on the very bottom of the very bottom tier of this TBR cart, I have some seasonal reads. So I decided that the top one is going to be my monthly TBR. The middle one is going to be books that maybe I didn't necessarily include in my TBR video, but I think I might want to read them soon because I am such a big mood reader. And then the bottom row tier, whatever you want to call it, is just going to be like some seasonal ones, so that will be there all summer, unless like until I've read them, obviously, just to kind of like show me, because I am a pretty visual person. I really like lists and stuff, so just so I have a visual of what exactly I want to read, what exactly I need to read, and different things like that. With all that being said and all of that montage video done, let's get started with walking you through the actual books that are on my TBR cart. So I'm gonna take off my journals since you already saw those. So the first one that is on my monthly TBR, we're gonna start with the top one, is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. She is the author of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is an audiobook that I really want to get to this month. Not all of the books that are on my June TBR are on this. They wouldn't all fit, but I did try to put most of them and the ones that I'm like the most excited for. And I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily super excited to read this one, but everyone else has been talking about it, and the audiobook for this book on Scribd just became available for me, so I really want to get to it this month so that I can say that I've read it and try and understand the hype around it, you know what I mean? So that's the first book. The second book that I had to put on my TBR cart was A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. You guys know I have not yet finished this, but I have been loving this series so much. I read both An Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night a couple of months ago, and I just absolutely fell in love with them, and so I really need to read A Reaper at the Gates and finish this. But yeah, I just had to had to put it on there. The next book was another one that I was supposed to read in May but just didn't get around to. What's New? And that was This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I think you guys know what this one is about. It's about this world where when people do bad things, a monster is created literally from that, and we are following the perspective of a person, like a human girl, I believe, and a monster. And I think they become friends. I don't really know much more than that, but I know that I've been wanting to read this book since it was published and I just never did. So I'm super excited to hopefully read this one this month as well. Continuing with that theme, I may as well. The next book is Finale by Stephanie Garber. I don't have the dust jacket on it. I've said it a million times. I'm not super far into this one, but I do desperately want to read this one this month. It came out last month, and I'm so mad at myself for not reading it right when it came out, but there is still time. I'm sure I will get to it. Even if I don't get to it this month, I will get to this because I need to know the ending and what happens to some of my favorite characters of all time. So, if you didn't know, Finale is the third book in the Caraval series, and I am absolutely obsessed with that series. I want to do like a full review of the series as a whole once I'm done with this book, so I do really need to get to it. The same thing goes for Reaper at the Gates. I mean, the fourth book isn't out yet, but I want to do like... Anyway, that's not what this video is about. Then I have a thriller, and that is The Lovely and the Lost by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a mystery thriller, and there are rescue dogs, and that's pretty much all I know and pretty much all I needed to know to pick this book up. It sounds super interesting. It's not very long, and so I really want to get to this month. I've really been in the mood for thrillers lately, and so this one definitely had to go on like my priority top tier shelf. The next one wasn't one that I included in my TBR video because I didn't know that I was going to pick it up. But I did decide that I wanted it on this shelf, and that is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This book has been getting rave reviews since I swear like November, and it just came out. But everyone loves this book, and since it is Pride Month, and also this is the Books with Friends, I don't even know the name, book club pick with Chloe and Common Spence. I really wanted to read it, plus I just want to see what the hype is about. Not to mention, it has one of my favorite tropes of all time, and that is the hate to love trope, and it's like hate to friends to love, and it just sounds absolutely incredible. It is between the first female president's son and the Prince of Wales after they get involved in a scandal, so they have to pretend to be friends even though they're not too fond of each other, and then they actually become friends and romance ensues, and I think they have to hide it. It sounds so freaking interesting, and I am so excited to read this one. But yeah, I picked it up recently, and so I decided I just had to add it to my TBR and like make it a priority to read. The next one is one that you guys saw me be so excited to read in a bunch of reading vlogs, and then I never ended up reading it, and I'm like disappointed in myself, and I feel like I maybe disappointed some other people too. But that is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This one I feel like I am going to love. It sounds like such an incredible fantasy, and so many people have already read it, but I have not, obviously, and so this is definitely a priority for me. I tried to not pick too many huge fantasies. I think this is definitely the biggest one on here, but I am so excited to hopefully get to this one this month. Then at the very end, I just have a bunch of my manga picks. So the first two manga picks are Waiting for Spring, volumes 6 and 7, because I can typically read a couple of manga volumes in a month of this series without like feeling like it's too much. I typically read about 3, and I have just been absolutely loving this series. It is so freaking adorable, and I can't wait to continue, so these are definitely on my TBR for the month. Then I have a bit of a bigger manga, and that is Orange by Ichigo Takano. This is about a girl who gets a letter from her future self, and she kind of gives her advice, and it's It's one that is so highly praised on BookTube, and also recommended for people who are just getting into manga, and so it sounds super interesting and I really want to read it. I feel like it will take me a couple of days to get through this one, but it'll be super fun to read, so I'm really excited to have like a physically easy, like format-wise easy read, but that I can just kind of take my time with. I think people also say that this is emotional, so like I'm here for that. And then the last one is just a manga series that I really want to start this month, and that is Horimiya Volume 1 by Hiro, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce whoever else is there. I'm sorry. I'm gonna butcher it. I've butchered it in so many videos and it's really embarrassing and I feel really bad about it. So this is the last book that is on like the top tier of my TBR cart. Moving on to the second shelf. So my second shelf is, as I already said, the books that I am kind of like, I think maybe going to be in the mood for either relatively soon or just sometime throughout the month, and so I just wanted to like put it there, put it in my mind so I can see it all the time and like think about it, let it marinate. So the first book that I put there was Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I have read one Cassandra Clare book and it was City of Bones, but I really want to try her historical fiction series. This is the first book in the Infernal Devices trilogy and everybody loves this series. Everybody loves the Shadowhunters world, and my goal for this year is to catch up with all of Cassandra Clare's books so that when Chain of Gold, I think is what it's called, comes out in March, I can read it with everyone else, because I feel like I will love this and I feel like I will love the Dark Artifices. I'm not sure if I'll love the Mortal Instruments series. I hope so, but I'm just not sure. But I think I'm ready. People are gonna hold me to that and I'm not gonna read it and I'm gonna feel really bad again. I feel like this is like creating a lot of pressure for me to like read these books. Anyway, the next book is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I have just been in the mood for a super easy vampire book, and I don't know if these are cheesy, but like that's kind of what I'm in the mood for. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that they are, but like the cover kind of looks it, so I don't judge a book by its cover. But everyone absolutely loves this series as well, and I really want to read them, obviously. So I have this first book. Once I'm done with Clockwork Angel, maybe I'll give this a shot as well, who knows. But yeah, I am excited to dive into some new series. My goal for this summer is to just marathon a bunch of like fantasy series so that when school comes around I can either be finishing them up or starting just some easier reads. But yeah, I think that's going to be my goal. Well, that is my goal for the summer, so this one's on the list too. The next one is actually an adult contemporary, and that is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. They are an author duo, Christina and Lauren, and they have a bunch of books together. I haven't read a single one by them actually, but I have quite a few of their audiobooks saved on Scribd, and so I'm really hoping to get to those. But I think I want to read this one physically. It's about these two people who growing up were best friends and kind of more than friends, but I don't know that they ever acknowledged that, and then something horrible happened and they hadn't spoke for like 11 years, and now that this girl is engaged and she has like a full-time job and she's trying to just make her life as stable as possible, he comes back into the picture and they, I think, rekindle what once was, if not intentionally. Maybe not intentionally, but it ends up happening, I'm assuming, since it's an adult romance. I've heard that this is a then and now story, so that sounds really interesting to me. It just sounds so cute and like a heartbreaking summer read, and I love my heart to be broken by books. Maybe so that's a little stronger when it happens. I don't know, but like when it's by a book, it like feels good and cathartic. Anyone else? The next one is another fantasy that shouldn't take me long to read, and that is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I, again, have started this one. I'm like 110 pages into it, so I really want to read this one and The Wicked King very soon. Again, this summer, just knock them both out. The third book, its release date has been moved up to November, so again, I hope to read these before that comes out so that I can enjoy the last book just like everyone else, with everyone else. I don't think that should be too hard because there are only 2 books in this series, like prior, and they're not very long, so I'm very excited. This is another hate to love trope, but not necessarily love, just a lot of tension, and that sounds just incredible. Plus, it's about mean fairies. I was really enjoying this when I was reading it, but I just put it down because it wasn't necessarily what I was in the mood for, and now I think I might be, which is very exciting for me. I hope the rest of you are excited. Oh gosh, this video is so long and it was not meant to be. I have another, like, contemporary with royals involved. That's a thing that I've really been into apparently, and that is Prince Charming by Rachel Hawkins. This was originally published as Royals, but then it got a cover and title change, and they just redid the whole marketing thing for this, I think. And this sounds so interesting. When it was Royals, I didn't even look at it, like take a second glance, because that cover I'm not a fan of, to be perfectly honest. But this one is so freaking cute. This is about a girl whose sister is engaged to a crown prince, and the younger brother of the crown prince is trying to get Daisy, the main character, kind of out of her shell, and he's getting her in trouble, and I'm assuming a forbidden romance ensues. It's not very long, and it sounds really adorable, so this is another one that I hope to read, and I'm just kind of in the mood for it, you know what I mean? Then I have a couple more manga picks. So the first one is I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, the complete collection by Yoro Sumino. This is about a girl who has a pancreatic disease that I think is killing her, and only her family knows, and then she writes it in her diary, and one day this boy finds her diary and reads it and knows about her disease, and there's an unlikely friendship, I think, and then they fall in love, and the title doesn't necessarily mean like I want to eat it like viciously. It's like I want to help you. I want you to not be sick anymore because I care about you. But when I saw the title, I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what? And it was a little alarming, so I just wanted to preface that. Maybe you weren't as put off as I was, but I was really put off. The last book is another manga that I have on this tier, the middle tier, and that is Living Dining Kitchen by Ayu Watanabe. That person. I can't. I'm sorry, I'm just butchering them all and I feel horrible. But this is about a girl who her best friend was rejected by this prince that moves in next to this girl. She finds out that this prince lives next to her, and a forbidden romance ensues, and she feels really bad about it because this guy rejected her best friend, but she really, really likes him and he really likes her, and it sounds so freaking cute and interesting. And again, like the princes, I don't know, I'm just really into it for whatever reason right now. So this is another one that I really want to get to very, very soon. I don't know why I held it up to you like that. That was weird. Alright, we have made it to the bottom shelf. This video is almost done. I'm so sorry that it has taken so long. This is annoying. I'm sorry. Alright, some summer picks. That's what this bottom shelf is. The first one is The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. You guys saw this in the books that I want to take with me on my trip video. That was not the title. I definitely condensed it, but you know what I'm talking about. I did not end up reading this, and even though it takes place during winter, it's a romance, so it sounds like an easy read for summer. That's what I went with. But yeah, this is the first one on that shelf that I really want to get to during summertime. The second one I think was actually in like my seasonal TBR kind of video, like I need to read this during summer, and that is The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. I definitely still really want to get to this during summer, again, finishing up series. This is only a duology and I only have the first book, luckily, so I really want to get to this and then hopefully pick up The Crown's Fate. This is about like a magician contest for the king. The premise kind of reminds me of Throne of Glass, but nobody else compares it to that, so I'm assuming it's nothing like that. But it sounds super interesting. There's also, I think, a love triangle. Brittany from Brittany the Bibliophile really enjoyed this series, and so I'm really excited to get to this because she's like the only person that I've heard talk about it. But this is one that I've had for a while and I desperately really want to get to this summer. The rest are contemporaries, and the first one is actually an adult contemporary that I've talked about quite a bit. It's another Christina Lauren, and that is The Unhoneymooners. Can you even see that? The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This is about two people who hate each other and are forced to go on this girl's twin sister's honeymoon because everyone else at the reception got food poisoning. It sounds so cute. Another hate to love trope. I told you guys I really like that trope. So I am hoping to get to this very soon. It sounds like such a beachy, summery vibe, and I live for that. I can't wait to just be relaxing on my hammock and reading this. Like, doesn't that sound incredible? The next one is another summery book, but it's a sad one. As you can tell, I really like to have my heart broken, and it is Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. This, I believe, was also in that video that I mentioned that the Grounds game is in. This is about a girl who spends one last summer with her family up at their cabin in the mountains by the lake, and her dad has terminal cancer, and so it's like their last summer together as a family before he dies, and everyone says this is so sad for obvious reasons, but she has to kind of like rekindle some of the friendships because when she was last at this place she treated some people pretty poorly and she hasn't been back since, and so she has to like make amends, and also like there are family things going on, so I'm super excited to get to this one. I have gotten 100 pages into this and I was really enjoying it, but I put it down. What's new? Story of my life. The last book of this video. You have made it. You earned a medal. You've earned a medal, in my opinion. Is Little Do We Know by Tamara Ireland Stone. I picked this up not knowing much about it. But this is about two friends who are they're not getting along, and they used to be the best of friends, and something happens that brings them back together, and this just sounds like such a good read. This is another one that I'm in the mood for, so it could go on the second shelf, but I just decided to put it on the third one. This just sounds so good. Content warning, I believe, I haven't read it yet, so I'm not sure, for sexual assault, because I read the author's note. I don't know why. I think I was looking for the page number and I saw a hashtag #MeToo on there, and that was like around when this was published, when those things were coming out. So I'm not sure, and once I read it I will let you know for sure, but I would check out some reviews if you are interested in reading this book and that's something that you are sensitive to, just so that you can be aware of it. That was my TBR cart. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you for sticking with me. This was way too long of a video. I did not mean for it to be this long. I am genuinely sorry, but thank you for being here. I love you all so much, and I really hope to see you all in my next video. Bye guys!